Welcome to Gaslight Theater, presented by OlderNDumber. This month we're looking at No Country for Old Men. As always, we suggest checking out the movie first, but that being said, there will be spoilers ahead in our discussion. So I'm going to try to recap this. No Country for Old Men is a film directed by the Coen brothers based on a novel by Cormac McCarthy. It tells the tale of Llewellyn Moss, portrayed by Josh Brolin, a man who finds a briefcase with $2 million in it in the desert at a failed drug deal. Turns out that money belonged to the Mexican cartel and they want it back. Enter Anton Chigurh, expertly portrayed by Javier Bardem, an almost supernatural and unstoppable killer who will stop at nothing to take down Llewellyn Moss and get the money back. Caught in the middle of all this is Tommy Lee Jones's Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, an aging lawman doing what he can to save Llewellyn Moss before it's too late.
Did Tommy Lee Jones do anything in that movie?
No. He made a couple phone calls and he drank a little bit of coffee. Ate some pie, maybe.
I don't think it was about him actually trying to stop what was happening. It was just like sort of a
he
set
was
piece about
doing
an aging
what policemen
lawman.
do.
No. I don't know. It was trying to tell us more about like times change. I don't know. It's hard to.
It was certainly a movie.
Tommy Lee Jones didn't like ever interact with the killer.
Tommy Lee Jones. We're not even
like the only time they interacted directly with the killer was at the very end.
Well, he didn't even see him.
Well, it's because he decided not to kill him because heads.
Everything led up to that point, though. That was when he finally decided to go out and try to help Llewellyn. He was just a little too late.
Well, he was trying to, but she wouldn't tell him where he was. What you mean?
He didn't ask. He didn't like ask once before. Like
yeah, he did. They went to dinner.
Yeah, he asked exactly like once.
And he was like you need to tell me where Laurel is so I can help him.
But he didn't try to look for Laurel.
He's directly. Like, you need to call me when you find out where he is. Why would he go?
She didn't wait. She waited till the last possible second.
I mean, really, it was her mom's fault of why this movie ended like this. If we're being fucking completely honest.
Let's talk about the real villain of the movie.
It's fucking her mom.
Agnes Padrick or whatever her name
Agnes
is.
Cocksuck, whatever the fuck her name was. Agnes Crinkle Dickberry.
Carla Jean's mom.
Yep. I don't know. Initial reaction is...
Seemed good.
It was certainly a movie based off a book. 100. Obvious.
I mean, lots of movies are based off books.
Yeah,
Die Hard is based off a book.
Yeah, but not Die Hard the book.
I think it was trying to tell us something besides just the story. It was trying to.
There's definitely metaphors.
Yeah, it was definitely a big metaphor, and I'm pretty sure it like almost hit me and then didn't hit me. I think I'll have to watch it a second time through.
I feel like the movie's trying to tell you that
this is no country for old men.
I think it was like a metaphor for like
time
changing, and like he didn't feel like he was up to heading on directly against the villain until the very end.
Who?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Sheriff Bell.
Like Tommy Lee Jones was a sheriff who'd seen too much shit and decided that there's too much evil in the world, and I can't stand to look at it anymore.
I think he was just like feeling like, oh, I'm a second too late and a penny too short every time he got to every situation in the movie. Like at the beginning where he almost gets to Sugar, but he just left the trailer.
He made Sugar, it's Sugar.
Anyways, when he gets to the trailer and the milk is still there, I think that's like
still
sort of
sweating.
the beginning. Yeah.
We just missed him, Sheriff! God dang!
But yeah, I think the whole movie is just like, oh, I'm just too old for this.
Getting too old for this shit?
And too old for this shit.
That's the through line?
I don't know.
I feel like there was a bit in there that's about like you can't
always get what you want, you know?
Something's gonna catch up to you. Whether it's the day-to-day life catching up to you and bringing you down, or it's the cartel that you stole $2 million from, or it's the literal karma of life because you decide to make every decision based off of a coin, and now fate's like, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Something's coming. You just don't know what. Could be good, could be bad.
We're being told a story of a man trying to escape with this $2 million, but there's definitely undercurrents to all of that.
Nothing comes easy.
Damn.
I think that's one thing.
If you see $2 million in a briefcase, leave it there.
If you go home and fuck your wife after you don't give the guy the water, probably don't go back. It's probably
don't ever give
he's
the guy the
probably
water.
dead.
If you had water in the first place, yeah, give him some water. But like he waited a long time to go back out and get him some water.
So,
But I think
this whole chase is kicked off when Llewellyn decides he meets one of the cartel members who isn't quite dead, and the man wants some water, and he's
Agua.
like, I ain't got any agua.
Agua.
There ain't no agua fria in my canteen.
Agua.
So, goes home, fucks his wife, and then decides, man, I should have gave that guy a drink.
Says
Goes
I can't
back.
sleep. And he gets up,
And
puts
what
a
do
jug
you
of
know?
water.
The chase
doing,
begins.
Llewellyn? Something stupid.
Something stupid. Even he acknowledges it, which is nice.
If I don't come back, tell my mama I love her. Your mom's dead.
I'll tell her
Guess
myself.
I'll tell her myself.
So there's a lot of popular theories, obviously, for a movie like this, for what the thematic through lines are. But there's a couple good ones that I want to bring up and get your guys' reaction to.
Sure.
One of my favorites is Anton Chigurh's not real. He's just a theme for chaos in the world. And that's why when Tommy Lee Jones goes to confront him at the hotel, he's not in the room. And when he asks the man in the room after he kills the guy in the boardroom, and he's like, do you see me? He asks a couple times throughout the movie if people can see him.
Well, I think that's just him being like, I wasn't here, right? And they're like, yeah. Because those kids obviously fucking saw him.
Sure.
Those fucking cartel members who got shot the fuck up definitely saw him. And the guy who stepped out of his car asking to help.
I think there's some. I don't know, because like he walks away. Like I think your biggest
There's scenes where he walks through and does things where you're like, why isn't anybody doing anything about this? Why has no one noticed this guy blowing a car up in front of the pharmacy?
You might.
Well, he
like,
looked around.
Sure.
He checked. Then he did it.
I mean, your biggest upset I feel that you had in the movie is that it was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, a
Like
little bit.
he just walked away, so that could be a signifier that he wasn't ever there in the
You
first
can't-
Was
place.
those kids straight up like
You can't
gave him $100, gave him his
you
T-shirt?
can't do anything about the chaos in the world that'll always be there.
I don't like that one. I don't like that theme.
What's the next one?
So the next one is about Sheriff Bell's dream. And it happens to go back to the Chigurh theory that there's always chaos in the world and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's basically the idea that his father riding forward with the fire, and the idea of carrying the fire forward is no matter what you do, no matter what you try to fight against the chaos and the darkness of the world, no one man can do that. The best any man can do is to carry the fire for the next generation.
The Will of Fire.
This movie was just an anime.
I don't know. I think that's just like a popular throughful that has like deep meaning because it's true. All you can do is like sort of inspire the next generation to try to do better than you did.
I feel like McCormick just wrote a book, and he was like,
Naruto.
I bet you I could really fuck with some people. I bet you they're gonna get a third away through the book, and they're gonna be so invested that even though they're hating it, they have to finish it. Someone keep going.
Did you hate it?
I don't know.
The other big theme I think that carries through the whole thing is greed. You see anybody who basically comes in contact with the money, it's either something bad has happened to them already and there's an exchange of the money, or the pursuit of the money is going to cause something bad to happen to those people, and that it's that greed for the money throughout. And it talks about sort of Tommy Lee Jones's character's first dream about getting some money from his dad and then losing the money, and how he sort of forgets it like it's not important. And the second dream he talks about it has much more significance, and how we got to that midway point of the movie and Llewellyn throws the money over the fence and Hunter's like, well, what's the point of all of this?
I mean, yeah. But also, I don't feel like Llewellyn was like... I mean, he didn't fucking spend any of it.
Yeah, because he was going to eventually.
Bought his boots,
Yeah,
he
but
bought
like-
new clothes for himself, he had to pay for the hospital,
I don't know, but like it wasn't like...
hotels,
It was mostly, I found this, and even though if I give it back, I'm still gonna die.
bought that
I need to
jacket
protect
off the
Could've-
kid.
No, he could have gone to the police. He was greedy. He wanted it.
I mean,
He
if I
wanted
found
the
$2
money, and he
million,
wanted to keep...
Why wouldn't I keep it?
Yeah, because you're a greedy motherfucker.
Why is that greed? If I found $2 million just sitting there, no one's there to fucking claim it.
Someone's gonna come to claim it.
Maybe. Guess I'll take my chances against Sir Sugar. Shergo. Anton.
What was the things that were like, yeah, that's hitting right for me? Hunter obviously has a lot of complaints, but he did say that, he liked aspects. So what worked, boys?
A lot of the camera. A lot of the shots.
It definitely has that feel of like an old sweeping Western, and then like halfway through the movie, it switches and becomes a film noir, like a detective movie.
Yeah, I think the cinematography, like the parallels of like, I like the same shot from like back in the trailer when he goes and he stares at the TV and he like sees the reflection back at himself, and then Tommy Lee Jones' character comes in and does the same thing, drinks the same milk out of another man's fridge. Never do that. It's disrespectful.
Sugar, he didn't drink the milk.
No, he sat there like a robot.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the chase. A lot of the stuff that was like, this is a way to survive, was really good. Like, just the fact of like, I'm taking my shoes off so I don't make any sound. I'm bringing 2 different tools for 2 different parts of this job. I'm, specifically turning off the light to make it seem like I'm asleep, and, all these different things. Like, I just like that there was a lot of that.
We never on screen
There was a lot
get
of
to
thought.
see the main character, what's his name?
Llewellyn?
Llewellyn. We never get to see him interact directly with the cartel.
Yeah,
Besides the first chase.
twice.
No.
Yeah,
You mean,
I mean,
the Mexicans, or do you mean Chigurh?
The Mexicans.
Oh.
We never
Well,
get
they
to
shoot
see-
him.
They shoot him, but then throughout the entire rest of the movie, we don't get to see it on screen.
They're around until
Cause
the
Shergo-
off-screen
Right.
shootout.
yeah, the off-screen death, which was
And like
we'll get
when
to
he's
that.
going around the hotel, like driving through
Yes,
the
remember, we
hotel.
have to get to what would you change.
That was the Mexicans.
Yeah,
cartel.
we never get to
Sorry.
see like them directly interact again in the movie after the first sequence.
I think it's mostly because Sugar was the one taking him out. He was like, I'm fucking gonna catch up to him, not you, you assholes.
They're inconveniencing him.
Yeah.
I think
Him showing up to the fucking corporate office.
yeah, the mindset of the characters. I think they were very thought out, and each character's like actions felt like something meticulous, I guess, or like well thought out before they.
That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of thought into each thing. And I had mentioned when we were watching the movie, very specifically, when Sugar was patching himself up after getting shot in the leg by Llewellyn, and he went to the pharmacy and grabbed that stuff. Specifically, when he was getting the lidocaine, in almost every movie and TV show you see, they just stick it in and pull. That's not how you do it. You have to put some air in the syringe, push it into the bottle so there's no air, then pull it back out. And he did that. And that was very, like, there was thought put into it so that people couldn't... There was a lot of things that people could not question. You cannot question the legitimacy of what happened because that's probably why and how it could have happened.
I think the scene where Ed Bell goes to talk to his uncle, Ellis, and Ellis tells him the story about the Texas Ranger.
The end of the movie?
Well, it's one of the like 3 end scenes.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's always been like this.
Yeah. You ain't the first and you won't be the last.
Yeah. And it's that, I think it
The
attacks
world's always
that,
full of
that
evil.
idea of nostalgia and vanity. Like, we're always like, oh man, remember how cool this was back then? Everybody says, remember how cool this was back then.
Everybody says you don't have to do this.
You don't know you're living in the good old days until they're already gone.
Yep.
Another big thing I want to say was really good about this movie, sound. So
No,
everybody,
mm-mm.
well, sorry, not the
The
actual.
talking, it was very hard
Okay.
to hear conversations.
Not
Well,
the-
I mean, the
not
fact that
our-
we had a fan going next to our heads.
Well,
got-
I think that's just
Okay,
like
that
most like
really
older
wasn't-
movies as well. It's like the mixing between the talking dialogue and like the action sequence is such a huge disparity of sound.
But that's not the point I was getting to. Just like how a lot of people rave about A Quiet Place and how they use sound, I feel like this movie used sound very well in certain places. Like, specifically when shit had no sound and it was quiet, it's because those characters were deliberately trying to be that way.
like when,
and there was
when Sugar was going up to the hotel room and he sets the tank down and it doesn't
exactly
even
doesn't even clink, nothing. That was all very specific and meticulous. And then the only thing you could hear was the suitcase
Yeah.
in the air duct. Like, I think the use of sound in this movie went very, very well. Like, they deliberately chose to do those things.
Or like
And it worked.
when Sugar goes up to the hotel
Sugar.
room to kill Josh Brolin's character,
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn, and he like you hear nothing, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, that was, again, and the only thing you could hear was, like, him getting down onto the ground, the creaking of the boards, and then, like, getting back up. That's it. You know? Yeah, that was good. Everything.
Wow.
Hunter doesn't understand deep movies.
No, I think we should have gotten a scene,
A showdown.
yeah, where we watched Llewellyn die.
Yeah, I
just
would-
seeing Llewellyn die fucking sucked. That's like I was getting edged and then they just stopped. I
would have liked to seen a last shootout of Llewellyn dying.
yeah,
like, trying to
watching
fend
him
off his
die would have
killers.
fucking been
See,
so
but that
sad.
goes back to that idea of doesn't really matter. The violence doesn't matter. The chaos is always there no matter where you are.
Everybody likes a good villain winning sometimes, though.
We did get the thematic showdown at the hotel when Bell opened the door.
Yeah.
And he faced off against his own shadow.
What?
So when he goes to the hotel where Llewellyn died and he opens the door and the car headlights are behind him, shining the light in, you get a nice panning shot of Sheriff Bell. And then it shows the wall in his silhouette looking like an old time cowboy on the wall,
On the
ready
door.
to draw down.
Yeah.
And him stepping away was winning that showdown.
I don't think anybody won that showdown.
He got out
His
of there
luck.
alive, didn't he?
Yeah. You know, it doesn't actually show or we know if Carla Jean,
He checks his boots.
I know, that's about to say. we don't actually know if she died because it didn't say it.
You don't see it outright, but he comes out
He
onto the
checks
porch and
his
he checks
shoes.
his boots.
But that could just be that maybe he thinks Carla Jean's dirty. He's like, she got a dirty ass house. Are my shoes clean?
Maybe. That's a hopeful way to look at it.
And then he just got fucking wrecked. I knew it. I'm like, why are we looking at this fucking green light? Why are we looking at these kids? He's gonna get hit. Car's coming.
Chaos.
Thought for sure he'd be dead though.
Nah,
He's dead.
no.
There's no way he's not dead. You could see in his eyes. He was internally bleeding out of his eye
You
socket.
never had a bloodshot eye before?
Bro, a bone was out of his body.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Carter, is he dead?
What didn't work for you?
I would have liked to see the showdown just from like a conclusion standpoint, but I don't think it was fine without it. It worked, but it would have been nice to see.
I mean,
him
if you
one
look
last
at
time.
it as Sheriff Bell's story,
yeah, which it was halfway through the movie, the scanner
all the little beep beep.
didn't work for me.
The transponder?
Yeah, we were in like what, the 80s? That
No,
thing
it
was
was
like in a metal tube.
90s?
No, because he's talking about being a nom vet, and he's still pretty young.
Yeah, they paid for the good shit.
No way.
Yeah. Works up to a range of...
Tiny little thing like this.
It's only aluminum. It's not like metal. Air ducts weren't fucking, corporate range in a motel.
And that's a small gripe.
Oh, his pistol. There's no way he got that range when in that shootout in the dark. He had that much range with the pistol.
Had a long barrel on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see why he wouldn't get that range. I mean, pistols can shoot really far.
He was like all the way across the street, like all the way over here, all the way over there with no
It's
sight on his
nothing.
pistol.
He definitely had a custom out pistol.
Yeah, but he had no sight. It was just like
Didn't need it.
a Tech 9.
We already know he sucks at aiming. Couldn't even shoot that bird, and he was a foot
He
away.
fucking nailed that guy in the throat from like an entire block away.
And then shot his eyeball out.
Well, that guy wasn't.
A main
That
character.
guy wasn't protected by plot armor. He was aiming at Llewellyn, so technically he missed.
Could say that. Probably didn't want to disable the vehicle first, though.
And he was like, "Fuck, I shot that guy. Well, I guess I better keep shooting."
I'll just shoot the tire out, blows the guy's head off.
Damn it. Ooh. I want another movie made just from inside Sugar's head. Like, that's what I want.
I think my favorite scene was the hotel shootout scene, though. Like, even though I didn't think that pistol would do that, I think he would have needed something a little bit more with a little bit more oomph. Even like when he was doing it, I was like, "Oh, that's a shotgun. That makes a little bit more sense if he was doing like had the proper ammunition." But yeah, that scene, that shootout was cool and well choreographed, and it switched midway who was chasing who.
Yeah.
I like that. I also liked the Sugar entrance of like introducing Sugar, where he just walks up to he steals the cop car, drives up to the guy, and he's like,
Can you just stand
still.
Nothing to it, too. The dude just was like, "Okay."
Thought he was a cop.
Can I see your badge?
This was,
That's a lesson to all of you out there. If someone ever pulls you over, look for a badge.
if you're in like West Texas in 1987,
And he has a giant air
Ask for a
canister.
badge. Yeah, if someone's carrying anything other than the proper, equipment, ask for some ID. Maybe don't get out of your car.
I really enjoy the coin flip scene.
Coin flip scene's good.
Oh, the gas station? Mm-hmm. Damn it. I was going to say that.
All right, go ahead. Elaborate, because I'd like to
it's
hear your
yours.
opinion on it. Because I've got more scenes.
Okay, well, no, I really like that scene too, because like it showed Sugar's decision making for his entire life.
How nuts he is.
He's the coin.
Right. Like Sugar goes through, he just kills people. Just whatever. If you annoy him, if you look at him wrong, if you just, blink, he kills you, right? But he also has this like decision making, or what do I want to call it? Set of rules for it, right? Like whatever it is, if he has to kill you, it can't get him dirty. If you, for any reason, have some sort of innocence about you, you get a chance. But no, think about it. Every person he killed, only the people who
were wrapped up in the money.
Yeah, only people who were wrapped up in the money.
Like that bird.
Insta kill.
That bird was like, damn, that money.
Birds aren't
good.
people, so he didn't care.
Like the guy at the front desk.
Cop was trying to stop him.
Cop was trying to
The
stop
The
him.
guy at the front desk probably tried to call Llewellyn.
He did try to do that. Forgot about that. Yeah, I almost thought he would have given. I thought maybe that guy did.
But there was the lady at the trailer park who was like, "I can't give out our residents' personal information."
It inconvenienced him, but she didn't kill him. He didn't kill her. Sorry, my bad.
She killed his vibe.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, he's a merciless killer with a very odd perception of law, I guess. He's got a very weird set of rules, and that gas station scene said it. Mm-hmm. Like, if you needed to know anything about Sugar, you watch that scene.
Friendo.
Yeah. Like, you watch that scene, and you're like, wow, that's fucking wild. Also, it all cost him 69, so he wins.
It's true. Yeah, so each character sort of gets one of those scenes in the movie that really sets them up. Is who they like. Llewellyn is the water, right? The opening,
right,
and going back with the water, like it shows his character.
You know what's really funny too? I think Llewellyn and Sugar, the actors, pretty sure all of their lines you could fit on 2 pieces of paper. Mm-hmm. Honestly. Like, they did not talk a lot. Dude, the whole first 25 minutes of the movie is Llewellyn going, Like,
I ain't got no water.
Each thing he looked at. Like,
everyone paid their respects to the dog, though.
Yeah.
every person.
They shot the damn dog.
Shot that dog. What that dog doing is dead.
And it's neat because it points it out as like, oh man, these guys are psychos. They fucking killed a dog. When just a few minutes ago, we saw Llewellyn had to defend himself and shoot a dog.
Yeah.
So
With one shot, yeah.
2.
It's an interesting juxtaposition. I've just those character scenes. Like I said, the one with Sheriff Bell and Ellis when he goes to talk to him in his cabin about, and he tells him about the old days not being the old days. Mm-hmm. The coin flip scene, going back with the water, even though he knows it's a fucking stupid decision. Like he knows he can't not do it because it'll eat him up.
Multiple times too. His
internal compass.
Fucked him over.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Morality. Get you fucked over in the end. You just got to be a force of nature.
Good guys always lose.
Oh, wait. Even the forces of nature get fucked over in the end.
What do you mean? The good guy didn't lose in this one.
The good guy died.
He was not the good guy.
Who?
Llewellyn? Josh Brolin?
Llewellyn? He was our good guy.
I mean...
So, I asked you throughout the movie, I was like, what do you guys think these D&D classes are?
I think he's chaotic
alignments.
Good. In the end, Llewellyn's chaotic good. Sugar is lawful evil, and I think Bell neutral.
Just straight neutral, not even neutral good.
No, because
or lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral is possible because he didn't do anything that was outside the law. So all right, I could give him lawful.
He's
neutral.
not sticking his neck out to help anybody.
Yeah, I would.
He makes that very clear in that opening. That opening monologue.
I'm hiding behind you.
Yeah. So I could give him lawful neutral. For sure.
I think he was good. I think
but the world
had
broken him down.
He's a good man, but he's an old man.
Constantly throughout the movie, he kept talking about things that he's just like,
this is fucking
such
insane.
A shame. It's fucked up. But how would you have known? And then the guy laughs and he goes,
I laugh sometimes
too. Yep. He's like, you'd think digging up graves in your backyard would have said something to somebody. But nope, took a naked man in a collar. And then he laughs. And yeah, man, I just think Bell was an old man who'd been beaten down by the fucking atrocities of
he just
life.
didn't think... I think he just saw the world as like
Or he don't
he
fix it
was
anymore.
doing good, and he felt like he was doing good, and then the world opened up to him, and it was like, oh, I can't do enough good to offset the chaos of evil.
Well, he specifically
And
says
that's
it.
why
in
he
his-
goes to his uncle and talk to his uncle, and his uncle is like, the best you can do is pass down,
Carry the flame.
carry the flame.
Well, and he says it right in the first monologue because he talks about the first man that he arrested for the double homicide, and he's like, that man told me he would have done it again. No matter what, he's like, even when he was 15 minutes from dying, or he was like, you're heading to hell, and he's like, that's where I was looking to go. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Like he talks about how.
What are you supposed to do
He
when you're
look-
confronted with a world like that?
Yeah. Anyway.
Damn. Nice.
I would like to watch it a second time, but I think it's a good 7 to 8. It's a well thought out movie, meticulous, and a lot of different meanings that could be grasped from it that left the reader wondering what was the meaning, which is always good. So I'd do like a Baby Driver was a 7.
Everything's gonna be compared to Baby Driver this
I
season.
think this is probably on my list. I would rank this at a 7 or a 7.5. I don't think I liked it more than Baby Driver.
I've said it this whole time. The movie was a movie, right? It's a movie based on a book. However, I will say it's one of those movies based off a book where it's very close to the source material. It's not completely off, which is always good. I'd watched the Thug Notes on this movie years ago because me and you, when you delivered papers, I rode with you, and we would
watched Thug
watch
Notes.
Thug Notes from fucking 11
Wisecrack.
o'clock to 6 a.m. or whatever, and that was one of them. And of course, he's always like, "Yo, and homie girl just fucking called up a boy and then ruined his girl, his husband's life or some shit, like whatever it was." Like, Thug Notes is funny. I have a lot of gripes with the movie, obviously, but even with all my gripes, probably still rate it. First initial rating 6. Give me a day. Probably goes up to an 8. Because I mostly just am very pissed at how they handled Llewellyn is why it's a 6 for me. I'm just like, are you,
You didn't
fucking
even realize
joking?
he was dead.
No, I
I had
didn't.
to
I thought
rewind
he was
it.
just another fucking cartel member. I was like, oh, it's just from the cartel, And then she shows up and she's crying. I'm like, this bitch don't even know he ain't dead. The fuck you mean he dead? Wait, hold up a fucking minute. And that's why, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's the reaction I got because why would he be dead? We didn't see it.
Because we're getting it from Sheriff Bell's perspective.
Which I didn't like that. I didn't like the perspectives of the movie changed throughout the movie. That is a unreliable narrator, and I hate it. And a lot of people don't like unreliable narrators. But so a 6. But yeah, I don't know. You give me a day or two, and I'll be thinking about the nuances of the movie, and then it probably becomes like a 7.5 or an 8 for me. Joey's like, it's a 10.
What are you rating him?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Probably got to give you a.
Well, rating him for the movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give you probably a 9.9.
Wow, you guys are so generous on your personal ratings.
9.9.99999. Can't do a full 10. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Just like I can't do a full 10 on this movie.
What's your rating on this movie? Wait. This is gonna be the biggest fucking upset in Gaslight
1
Theater.
out of 10.
He's gonna say some 1 or 3 or 4 shit.
No. So if you need to know,
Need to know? Yeah, we need to know.
this is what a 9 movie looks like for me.
That means no movie is ever another 9 because the shit was garbage. Only bad movies get 10s.
We can watch it.
Joey likes unreliable.
We can watch a
narrators.
10, but I think you guys have both seen it.
What movie?
Fury Road.
Yeah. All right.
Fugitive.
So it's a 9.
Yeah.
Why isn't it a 10?
Nothing's perfect.
Damn. Except for Fury Road.
Except for Fury Road.
Nice. Okay. What else do you have to say about the movie?
I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, watch this one before you watch The Road if you're getting into the McCarthy McCormick movies. There's through lines that carry from this movie to that movie. Even though they're not sequels or prequels or anything, they exist in his mind universe. So themes are carried across more than like characters or anything. But if you watch The Road first, you probably won't want to go back and watch this.
I don't know if I'd watch the movie again.
It's better on the second watching because now you've got things to think about.
Get us out of here.
Guys, that was our discussion about No Country for Old Men. Thank you for joining us on Older and Dumber's Gaslight Theater. Hopefully you can catch the next one in about a month. We're still hammering out our production schedule, but we're trying to get them out monthly. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments who's right and who's wrong and what worked and what didn't, what your theories are.
Yeah, please do. And next episode will be me, my movie, which I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want anybody looking it up beforehand.
He really wants to surprise us.
We're going to see.
With 50 first dates.
It's a fucking great pick. 10 movie. No, but I'm excited for my movie. I'm pretty positive neither of you have seen it. However, if we get to the day I put the movie on and one of you was like, oh yeah, I've seen this, I have a backup. So
What if we've seen that one too?
Well, then I guess I'm fucked and we'll go watch a comedy because none of you watch comedy. So I'm always safe on that. But we'll see. But yeah, next one will be me. But yeah, tell us all your stuff. Answer the questions below in the comments.
Yeah.
Right down here.
If you'd like to watch these movies with us, you can do so by becoming a Patreon on Older and Dumber. That's Older, the letter N, Dumber.
Patron
on Patreon.
What you said? You can become a Patreon.
You can become a Patreon member
That's better.
by joining the Patreon.
Yeah, for as little as $5 a month, and then you get access to our Discord. You watch.
Speaking of the Discord, you can join that just for fun.
Yeah, for free. For free.
It's in the link in the description below.
It is, and it's also an icon up in the top banner.
Oh my God, hit it!
Yeah.
It's like here, I think.
Do you think if I wave my hand across right
No.
here, that
No,
May
she
will
won't.
like
No.
make the credits like I'm
No.
hitting them like, oh, and they like go towards the
No.
camera?
May, don't do that.
Speaking
He's
of
so
May,
cool.
follow her, our editor May at Mellia. You can follow this guy at Voice of Hunter, that guy at Cantrip Cards and Games, and me at Slooty Mage.
Hell yeah.
Good night, everybody. Happy cinemaviewing.com.
Pride Month. How much you ever lost on the flip of a coin?
How much have you ever lost on the flip of a coin?
Get a lot of rain out there?
Is that any of your business?
This man, Shigur, he probably just shoot you for inconveniencing him.
Oh, he fucking sucked.
Oh my God!
Could have caught it.